What's up, guys? My name is Khan and we're back today with more Scrap Mechanic, and today we're going to do a logic project. Now this is kind of interesting because I was actually on YouTube and YouTube's recommended algorithm actually worked for once, and it recommended me this channel called Reed Captain, and I saw a video in Scrap Mechanic that he did. I guess it was his first video in Scrap Mechanic, and he made a maze solving robot. And like every good YouTube viewer, rather than watch the video, I listened to the video while I read all the comments. And I actually found one comment that talked about, I'll show it on the screen here, but it talked about doing marbles, and I guess Reed was asking for different suggestions. And one of the things it said is, I would honestly suggest getting a hold of Con Gaming and maybe doing a collab with him to learn about Scrap Mechanic more. He does some amazing logic stuff, and I think this would be an interesting development for yours and his channel, as recently he's been more into just doing challenges and needs a kick in the pants to do some more logic-based stuff. LOL. You got your request there, Killing Carter, and today we're gonna do something logic. So I figured I would do exactly what Reed did, because on this channel we're all about original content, and we're going to build a maze-solving robot. Now, I am gonna include the link to Reed's channel in the description. Check it out down below. Really cool stuff. I think he's working on a computer now in Scrap Mechanic, which, guys, I'm not building a computer. No, I'm not. I want to hear your suggestions of more logic projects. Absolutely. I'd love to do more logic projects. I have a few ideas for some logic projects I would like to redo from the past that I think I could make a lot better, but I'm not building a computer, guys. I don't want to do a 5,000 part series on how to build a computer. So we're not doing that. If you want to see Reed build a computer, I encourage you, check out his channel. And of course, I did actually reach out to him and chat with him a little bit about Scrap Mechanic, and we were talking. He's really, really super genuine dude. Seems awesome. So anyway, check that out. But today, we're going to do a logic project. Now, I've laid out a maze. And it's a pretty simple maze. We've got an entrance here, we've got an exit here, and I wanted to build a really, really simple maze-solving robot. First of all, I'm super impressed that Reed's first creation in Scrap Mechanic is a maze-solving robot. That's going from like 0 to hero in no time at all. My first creation was literally strapping a seat to a bunch of thrusters and spinning it around in a circle, so I feel like we can automatically tell where the IQ difference is. We're going to build a really simple maze-solving robot. Now, something that you guys may or may not know about mazes, which is kind of cool, if you have a maze that has the entrance and exit both on exterior walls of the maze, I'm 90% sure, and someone might correct me and find the maze that doesn't work, but I'm 90% sure, as long as the entrance and exit are both on exterior walls, you can solve the maze by following one wall. And it doesn't matter which wall, the right wall or the left wall, you can do it. For example, here's the left wall. And if I follow the left wall here, and I follow the left wall here, and I keep following it, and I follow it, and I follow it, eventually, as you can see, it doesn't matter what the maze is, I will get to the outside here. And let's follow the other wall just to prove it works. So I follow this wall all the way back. And it doesn't matter, again, as long as the entrance and exit are both on the outside. If you have the entrance in the middle and it's like surrounded by an island or something like that, then there'd be no way to do it. But you can see, even though we're going through all these dead ends, this should eventually still get us out just following this wall here. And you can see we go through here, around here. Look at that. Perfect. Around. Excellent. Excellent. And right back out. Look at that. Perfect. So I want to build a robot today that can abuse this concept. And actually, this concept kind of comes from the game Logic Bots, which I played a while ago. And if you look at the game Logic Bots, it's all about building robots with logic, I guess. It's not so much focused on the building portion of it, more focused on the actual programming of it with binary programming and logic blocks. And the thing with that is there was one maze challenge where they said, make a robot that can solve a maze using only a single sensor. And that was the challenge. And the way to do it is exactly this, where you have it only follow one wall with a sensor. And it's a distance sensor. So all you have to do is say, if the robot can see the wall, then turn away from the wall. And if the robot can't see the wall, then turn towards the wall. And theoretically, if you line up everything perfect, it should work great. It'll kind of like vibrate back and forth, but it should make it through the course super slowly. So that's what we're gonna try and do today, and just build a really simple robot with a single sensor that can navigate through this. And believe it or not, this is going to be a logic project. You know, I'm gonna say that sort of with quotations because it's not really a logic project. I'm going to try and do this with only 2 logic gates and a single sensor. That's the idea, and I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm hoping it does, but I think this actually might be just the most amazing thing ever. So we're going to double bearing this frame up. And the reason why is that we're gonna have one motor that's just always on spinning forward when you start it, and then the other 2 bearings will be used to steer it left and right. So if you increase the speed on one side, that'll obviously steer it in that direction. So just like this, and the inside bearings will just automatically spin us forward. And then we'll just use some small wheels to kind of move this whole thing along. And again, with electric engines, it's not going to be fast, because if this is fast, it won't work. It's got to be slow in order to make sure that it's steering into and out of the wall. And we're going to have to mount this sensor at some weird angle to get this all to work. But it should work. We should be able to do exactly what we did with logic bots in Scrap Mechanic, I hope. And then, of course, we need something frictionless on the back end so the back end can just slide around. So let's just bring this forward here just as an extension piece for now. And we need a drill bit, because a drill bit is frictionless. Or, wait, is it? Drill bit's higher friction than these blocks? Really? Oh, no, they're the same. All right, okay, so a drill bit's, it's low enough friction. It'll work. So here we go. We're just going to do this and put one of these down. All right, whatever. We'll have to do some adjustments. It should be fine. And then we need to put all the electric engines on this thing, which is going to be, of course, a pain in the butt because we literally do not have room for it. So we'll put one there, and I guess we can slap a third on the back. This looks a little bit ridiculous, but it's fine. So this one on the back is going to power both inside engines, and it's going to go forward. This one's going to power the right one to go forward, and that's going to power the left one to go forward. So theoretically, you know, we can increase the speed of one side. If we increase this, you can see we move forward slowly, and we can change the speeds of either side. So that's all good. Need a switch to start this thing. We'll put that right on the back here, just like that. That, of course, powers this. And we'll turn on the logic. Yeah, there we go. That powers this. And of course, it'll turn on the rest of the stuff. I want to do this. I'm realizing I want to do it with 2 logic gates. I'm probably going to have to do it with 4 because I'm going to need an AND gate on each of the things to turn off these motors when the switch isn't on. Could do it with 2, and then it'll just automatically move as soon as you take it off the lift. But we could do it with 4, and then it won't do it. So here's 4. So here's the 2 AND gates there, right? Oh, that's not good. There we go. Perfect. Connect this up. So those are the 2 AND gates. And then they have to run off another 2 gates. And one of them's going to be a NOT gate, and one of them's going to be an OR gate. And it's really, really kind of simple as to why. We're going to have a sensor, right? And the sensor is going to sense the wall distance, basically. And it's either going to be on or off. So on one side, we need to be a NOT gate, which says if the sensor does not see the wall, then activate this side. And on the other side, we need to be an OR gate simply because of Scrap Mechanic's logic. So Scrap Mechanic always uses 1 tick calculations, right? Where every logic block takes 1 tick. So if you only had a logic block on one side, the NOR gate, then the other side would be unbalanced completely. And so the sensor would have this weird delay where it would basically send a signal to both sides at the same time. So we've got this set up. Now we just need a sensor, which is on a little bit of a pivot. And of course we need a controller to adjust what that pivot would be. So we'll put a controller there. And we need a sensor on a pivot. And the reason we have the sensor on the pivot is just something I know from the days of doing this in logic bots, which is when you're going around a corner, something like this, a sharp corner, if your sensor's not at like a 45-degree angle, it's gonna do weird stuff. It might even need to be more than 45. Anyway, so let's try this. Here we go. 45 degrees, 60 degrees. Let's try 45 to start. And I don't know what distance we need this thing at. 5, maybe? 10? It shouldn't matter too much. It's just going to determine how close. It probably needs to be like 10, honestly. And I think it needs to even aim. It needs to be aiming down more. It might. Is it? It should be okay. Alright, so theoretically, all we need to do now is hook up the rest of this. So let me think. If the sensor does not see the wall, then we need to turn to the right, which means we need to power up this left wheel more. So we need to go like this. And if the sensor does see the wall, then we can turn away, which is that one. So these should alternate. So right now the sensor does see the wall, so we're allowed to turn away. We can actually decrease this a little bit. And if the sensor doesn't see the wall, then it will turn back. So let's just try all these at like a nice slow speed. And let's see what happens. Let's put a seat on this too, so we can actually just enjoy the ride. And this should actually be like the smallest logic bot. So here we go. Look at that. Perfect. Look at that. It's just twitching. And then it doesn't see the wall. So this is where you run into issues. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Sensors. Okay. So the angle's not enough. It's needs to be more than 45 degrees here. Let's go to like 75 degrees. All right. It basically needs to be able to see the wall as we go around the corner. So let's try this again. Right in the middle, and go. There we go. So there, it's just twitching. Doesn't see it, but it sees it for a second there. This might be too long range of a sensor. We'll have to find out. All right, perfect. Perfect. Maze solving robot. There we go. Okay, now turn away from the wall. Turn away from the wall. No, turn away from the, You stupid robot. All right, gonna try it with change the angle again. This is gonna be a lot of guess and check work. Unfortunately, that's just the way this sort of goes. All right, yeah, it just twitches back and forth. Okay, you don't see the wall. Don't see the wall. Perfect. Get in there. Look at that. Nice and close. I might need to increase the sensor range, to be honest. That might be another part of the problem. Okay, you see the wall there. See the wall there. Yeah, no. It's got too much forward and not enough turning. It might actually not even need the forward at all, to be honest. I'm pretty sure when I did this in logic blocks, I had no forward and I only had the left and right. I was worried that in scrap mechanic that might be too twitchy. But let's try it here. Because see, now it's only moving one wheel at a time. So it's literally gonna, yeah, see, it's gonna just freak out a bit. It's okay. It should just be able to just ride the line, though. And although this is going to take forever, hey there, champ. This should technically work eventually. Don't worry, the Logic Bot's achievement was the same deal. It took way too freaking long to do it, but it did eventually work. And so you can see here the sensor sees the wall, it sees the wall, and it's caught on the corner. It's caught on the corner. All right, here we go. Perfect. Perfect. It sees the wall. It's still seeing the wall. I increased the angle a little bit more to 75 so it can see the wall a little bit closer. But then, of course, the problem is you run into issues with these corners. But we'll see. As long as it sees the corner. No, see the corner, feel the corner, be the corner. You know what we might actually need to do? We might need to reverse the other side like a tank. I think that's how I did it in Logic Bots. I think that's actually the problem. It's not just a matter of stopping the other side from moving. We have to actually reverse the other side completely. So let's just rip this apart, make it a little bit bigger, and do the exact same setup. All right, so I've expanded the maze robot a little bit. I had to add a little bit more logic, which is unfortunate, but we've got a sensor here. Same setup, pretty much sensor on a controller, and we've got tank steering, so we just need to connect the whole thing. So we have all the tank steering on 4 AND gates, which is connected to the switch to turn the whole thing off. And then basically, if the sensor does not see the wall, it can push this one forward, and it can push this one in reverse, right? Because it needs to turn towards the wall. And if it does see the wall, it pushes the left one in reverse and this one forward. So that means if it doesn't see the wall, it should tank steer towards the right. And if it does see the wall, it should tank steer towards the left. And then we'll just put all these on like super low power. I don't know if this is gonna work. Gonna find out. Here we go. Maze robot test number something. Let's go. Okay, so this is the problem that I thought was gonna happen. It doesn't move forward unless we make the forward ones slightly more than the reverse ones. Now we'll slowly inch our way forward and eventually solve this maze. It only takes 3,000 years, but it will do it. It should technically do it. I'm waiting. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna come on, buddy. Come on, but I believe the worst maze solving robot ever, but I feel like it's actually gonna work this time. The problem I had before is that it wouldn't have a tight enough turning radius when it got caught in like a wall, right? But now with tank drive, it should no problem be able to get out of tight corners. For example, right here, when it sees this wall, look at that. See, look, it's like, okay, perfect. Yeah, and then it's gonna go this way. And then eventually it's gonna straighten out. We might have the sensor at too high a range too. That might be another problem, but we'll see. See what it does in this corner. In this corner, it should do a complete 180 and get out of here. Come here, bud. Come here, bud. Come on, turn. There we go. Yeah, 180. Just get stuck. It's fine. It's fine. You're good. Yeah, might need the sensor a little bit higher. All right, perfect. So this will eventually, theoretically, make it all the way to the end of the maze. So we just gotta now sit here for 3 hours and wait for it to finish. And I know it's a really stupid maze-solving robot, but technically speaking, it's still a... God dang it. Why are you getting caught on that corner, you stupid robot? Robot, stop. It needs more distance. It needs a higher... Okay, all right. Attempt number 60. Let's try it again. All right, I'm pretty confident this is going to work this time. I'm just going to sit here and try not to move my camera too much, although the shaking is kind of obnoxious, but it should eventually... You know what? Maybe we could just get off of it and just watch it. It should still work, right? If I just watch it. Come on, buddy. Get out of that... Look at that. Look at how amazing that looks. And then it's gonna get so close to that wall, though. The sensor honestly needs to be closer. It's the block width here is only 16 blocks wide, and the robot itself is like, I don't know, 5, 6 blocks, 7 blocks. Come on, turn, get out of there. Just jam your way out of that corner. Yeah, perfect, great. And then go over there. So if you ever wanted to make a robot with a single sensor that can still do something, this is this is kind of the way to do it. It would be better, honestly, if I had 2 sensors, because then it had a range. So if I had 2 sensors stacked on top of each other, and one of them was like 8 and one of them was 10, and it said move straight if you're within the 2 of them, then it would be a lot better. Obviously, this thing's just a wee bit, can you not get caught on this? You know what? I got an idea. We're gonna fix this. All right, just by playing around with some of these parameters, I think I found a robot that works. So I've got the sensor on 7, and then I've got the controller on 80 degrees. And this combination with the engine speeds we've got seems to give it a relatively decent chance of making it through the maze. So here we go. I'm just gonna start it up. It's still extremely slow because it does the vibrating back and forth thing. But theoretically, this robot should solve the whole maze in like 6 hours. So I'm just gonna let it run. I'm gonna go stand here on my lift so we can get a nice stationary view of the whole thing. And we're just gonna time lapse it and see how far this robot gets, and hopefully it doesn't get stuck. So here we go. All right. And there you go. A maze-solving robot. Possibly the world's dumbest maze-solving robot. Now, unfortunately, I can't upload this to the workshop. I know a lot of people would probably want me to. There is an issue with the game right now for some reason, which happened in multiplayer, where 4 electric engines on a creation will crash your game. So if I put this on my lift, and I leave it on my lift for like 10, 15 seconds, the game's just gonna crash. So I'm not gonna do that. I did message the devs about it. Hopefully they fix that if they do patch that bug. It is a new bug, so hopefully if they patch that, then, you know, I'll upload this to the workshop. But you can make it yourself. It's very simple, you know, if you take a look at it. It's just a controller, a sensor, and some logic. It's a relatively simple build. So controller on the front set to 80 degrees with the sensor at 7, and then the front engines at max, the back ones to go in reverse at 3. And then, of course, the logic configuration is just a NOT gate on the one side turning towards the sensor, and a regular AND gate on the other side turning away from the wall. So it's not a pretty robot. Obviously, it's very stupid. Okay, I understand. It hit walls a lot. It rubs up on the walls a lot, but it does make it through the maze. It actually uses some logic and some sensors, and it makes its way through the maze. I know it's dumb, okay? Don't make fun of it. It's not its fault. It was just born with less logic gates than everyone else, okay? It'll get better, and if you guys want to see me do more logic projects, let me know in the comments down below. I'm actually really excited. There are a couple logic projects I want to do that are going to be a little bit of a multi-part logic thing, stuff that's going to be a little bit bigger. Not a computer, though. I'm not making a computer. You can stop asking. But definitely let me know other logic projects you'd like to see in the comments down below. There's some cool stuff we can do now that we have all the survival parts in Creative World. I'm obviously in the new flat world, which looks super nice with the green and stuff. I really like that rather than just the straight brown. But yeah, there's all the creative parts, obviously, and you know, we've got all the creative crafting parts as well. So there's definitely some potential for cool logic parts we can do that involve this stuff. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know other projects you'd like to see. Obviously, go check out Reed's channel, link in the description. Just a really, really cool project. It's so much fun making simple maze-solving robots, despite them being stupid. This one, very stupid. Technically, though, I think could solve any maze with an exterior and exterior. And if I had put the sensor on the other side, it actually would have been a lot faster because there's much less wall for it to cover. But it's a really, really cool time, and I really love making these simple logic projects. So let me know other ones you'd like to see in the comments down below. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all next time.